those topics? Which are those topics which are essential, like that only I am putting up here for a question for discussion, right? So the first question we can take to discuss. The question is like this: the overall purpose of ethics is to ensure good governance with the prime concern for ethical principles, practices, and behavior. Okay, so this is the first question. So how we are going to deal this question? See this. The question is very simple. What it is talking about? It's talking about a good governance and connecting ethics with the good governance. So we all know that good governance is a concept which has been evolved very recently after the LPG era. So how to begin this question? First, you have to understand what this question is demanding for you. Then you have to come up with building the answer. That is, building the structure for answers is very important. You have to organize your thoughts. Then you have to frame the answer and then give as such. So now my interpretation to this question, I'm going to give like that, right? I've already told you that ethics is subjective, so you all can have your own interpretation. But the major way you can predict this question is ethics, what role it is playing in good governance. And now we are moving from, previously it was governance, and then we moved to good governance, and now we are talking about ethical governance. We have moved a bit ahead. We are saying that we have termed it as ethical governance itself. It doesn't mean that ethical governance is not a good governance. It's the second version of good governance. We can also say like that. Okay, so it's an improved version of a good governance. So the question is demanding you that yes, ethics is ensuring this good governance. The main purpose of ethics in governance is to bring good governance only, and giving prime concerns for ethical principles in practices and also in behavior. Okay, right? So this is what the question has said, and asking you to comment. Comment means what you have to do. You have to express your thoughts. You have to express your opinion regarding this statement. So how you will present the answer for these kind of questions? Because when you take a ethics question paper, these kinds of questions only, these types, resembling this type only, you will be receiving questions from the 6th and the 7th unit, which is very, very important. So in that case, how you can produce an answer? See, I have given an answer back also, but first let me give a thought to you, how you can write this answer. So first you have to just define what the term as good governance, or you have to define the entire concept, in 3 or 4 statements you have to complete it. Like how we are moving from governance towards good governance, and then we are reaching ethical governance. So this I hope you would have studied in your classes. And previously we only focused on governing aspect of the people. Okay, that means people has to be governed with certain principles and policies framed by a body, okay, a formal body, and people have to accept as such, because this is an art where the people are governed by a legitimate body. But now we are moving ahead of this governance concept, and we said now we are in a previously it is not like that. There were limited form of government, but now we ourselves are in a democratic form of government. So when a country which is having a democratic form of government will not only expect a governance from a administration, so that is governance from the government. That is only managing the people is not required. How you are managing them? How? That how question comes, and then comes the concept of good governance. Okay, so then we spoke about lot of principles which make governance to be a good governance. After the especially after the 1991, the LPG era, introduction of LPG, we moved to good governance. And now it is a time in this 21st century we are talking about ethical governance. Why we are talking about ethical governance? Because we did not give, even though we are saying that governance has to be in the good manner, how we will define this good, whether like abiding with the principles, abiding with the rules and regulations, being transparent, being open alone will bring a good governance? No. That means along with all those good which you say, transparency, accountability, accountability, openness, people's participation, all along with this, there is a very important concept where you will say reduction of corruption. Okay, reduction of corruption and strengthening of ethical principles like integrity, empathy. All these has to be strengthened. So where these principles will help in the reduction of corruption. Okay, so in that way, administration becomes, people friendly, or people oriented, or welfare oriented, or it should be pro-poor related. Any word you can use, and in such a way that it is trying to achieve the overall objective of quality service delivery to the people. Okay, this way, quality service delivery to the people. Ah, so now how you will write, this is the overall idea for this question. And first you can give this formula. You can say now it is a time we are moving to ethical governance. And here the main objective of ethics, that is ethical principles, is to ensure this good governance only by adding the ethical values into it. Okay, so how you will add, make this diagram for this question. If there is a space, I can utilize it. So see this, you can first put the diagram like how ethics is going to play its role in good governance. Okay, so like, so my voice is audible or not? So voice is very low. Is the voice very low? Is it audible now? Is it audible? Can you hear me now? So I think now it is clear, better comparatively, right? So is it okay? Fine. Now I'll discuss. If it is not audible, then I'll you can just let me inform me. So there is some audio problem in the system. That's why you're facing this problem. Right. Then, so as such, I can say that this quality service delivery will be the ultimate, aim or objective of the good governance also. And in order to achieve this quality service delivery only, we are also bringing in. Okay. So I hope like we have to change the system. Here, 2 minutes, because the voice is very low. I am changing my system itself. Okay. Just excuse me for 2 minutes. Huh? Okay. Take a look. Is it okay? Okay, fine. Students, give me 2 minutes. I'm changing the system because there is some audio. Sorry for the interruption. Yes, now we'll continue the question as we were discussing, right? So we left in the middle. Yes, so we'll continue that question. And we were discussing that how you can connect with good governance, and I told you that. So you can make a diagram, like how ethics is going to help in good governance. So like this, we can continue. So how you are going to add how ethics is helping good governance? That way you can put a diagram, and then you can also connect this flow chart into quality service delivery. I'm writing in short form, but I'm explaining it for you. In the exam, you can write. You can write the full form, and in the bracket you can write the short form and do it. So how ethics, one of the values it is going to give to good governance, especially what it is stressing, I can say, giving much importance to the reduction of corruption is the main aim of, ethics. Ethics is trying to reduce corruption, the illegal activity which is taking place in every stand of administration and every stand of government and governance process. So this corruption is prevalent everywhere. Okay, so how you will contain corruption? So that is the maximalist and minimalist concept of ethical governance. That is the minimalist concept of ethical governance. That is minimum concept of ethical governance says that it is better that you have to avoid illegal activities in the administration. The main illegal activity we are talking about is corruption. Everything we are including in corruption. Even if you are not doing a duty, that is also a form of corruption only. Okay, so that
it is trying to reduce corruption like activities and one hand, and the maximalist concept says that not only containing corruption is important, but you have to add ethical values like honesty, integrity. Okay, all this has to be added. Impartiality, treating people equally without any partiality. So even being empathetic to the people. So these values should be included inside the governance, good governance, where good governance previously was only focusing on concepts like be transparent to people, be open to people, be accountable to people, dot you'll say about people participation, include people in the governance process. But now we are thinking far ahead to include all these value systems inside our governance. This way you have to complete your answer. Then so now we move to the next question. See this. See here, I have given a bit description, but it's just an intro part of this question only. Okay. So next question will go. See this. Ethics training for public officials is one of the instruments for building integrity in state institutions and ensuring good quality public governance. Do you agree? Illustrate. Okay, so this is a question. So they are asking, first you have to understand the question. What they are asking, they're saying that whether ethic training, that is giving training, public officials will undergo training. So ethical training, nowadays we are talking about ethical training or ethics in governance training. So ethics training for public officials is one of the instruments for building integrity. This way they are giving a statement in state institutions and ensuring good quality public governance. So do you agree they're asking this question? This is more or less similar to the previous question, as you know that sometimes in the question paper itself, they will be asking some questions like this, which are more or less similar in nature. And this is not new, I am saying. You can go and check your old question. Around for 2015 and 16, there were a type of question which appeared in the same similar question paper, the ethical school of thought. There were two questions which is similar but different in format. Okay, so this way there is a possibility. So you can say this, yes, I agree with this statement. And how we are going to illustrate this here, a big slight difference is there. There we are talking about how ethics is helping. Here we are talking about ethical training to the public officials. How will you provide ethical training? Then you should have some knowledge in that. Okay, so we are talking about induction training to the administrators. Here, not only no, we are talking about public officials. No, so public officials are trained in such a way that they are only trying to improve the knowledge of the job. Okay, role knowledge. The knowledge about the role is enhanced in the public officials. But the necessity is not enhancement of role knowledge. The necessity is enhancement of ethical principles. Not only ethical principles, the enhancement of those things which are related to ethical principles like emotional intelligence. Okay, these all help in achieving the ethical principles. How will the public official is going to manage their emotions? Okay, how the way they are going to identify it and control keep the emotions at control. You cannot simply open it like a free air and then you can express it on anyone because you are in a public office. You cannot talk to your colleague also in an uncontrollable manner. You cannot talk to the visitors, that is citizens, also in an uncontrollable manner. You have to know how to stop that emotions which blast in you. So that's emotional intelligence. Similarly, like this, we have a lot of intelligence. How well you are going to behave in a stressful situation. Yeah, how well you are going to tackle the problems. You're developing tackle the problems you're facing and develop your personality. So personality intelligence or personality quotient, like this, we defines with various names. This training is required. This training is required at present, and this brings a wholesome ethical training to the public official. Not simply telling him, oh, you follow this integrity principle, you follow honesty, you follow impartiality. He is not going to hear that, but you develop him in such a way that he accepts that ethical principle. How we are going to develop him? Apart from giving IQ training, you have to give all these trainings. This I am not saying. Even the government is saying, the railways has said to its officials that it's enough you just don't only develop IQ to the officials. Make them get trained in EQ. Make them get trained in AQ. Okay, so now we are not only in railways, any sphere of administration, we are focusing in that. Even a private administration is also focusing on this angle only. In that way, when we are training a person in all this quotients, which is around the intelligence quotient, he is able to acquire ethical principles and a wholesome ethical training. Okay, so this ethical training is definitely going to build the principles of integrity in you and going to bring a good public governance to the people. Going to give a good public governance to the people. Here comes an idea. So still this you all will write. If you are able to predict the question, you all can predict it and give it in some way or the other, right? But if you have read the newspaper, if you are in touch with the current affairs, then only you will come to know. So they're asking you to illustrate it. Then you can say that you have to write in the flow chart format or in a diagrammatic format, you have to present the answer. So how you can bring the answer for this? You can bring mission Karma Yogi here. Okay, so this is a very popular mission which was introduced by the government in order to train the officials in such a way that now we are thinking out of box. That previously we only thought that public official, especially an administrators you take, he has to follow rules and regulations only. Okay, so he is always only rule based, thinking only about rules in his hand. Oh, this I should not do, this I cannot perform in my office as a person who's holding this post, I cannot behave in this manner. This is the only thing that is in his mind. Even in 2022 that was a question, rule bounded officers. Okay, so positive minded rule bounded, negative minded rule bounded, there are two types of rule bounded also, right? So mission karma yogi is teaching that how you have to develop all the other things which I told you apart from the IQ which you possess already. So here they are not only talking about rules, they're talking about your roles which you are holding. Okay, so that in such a way, capabilities, based on the capabilities, the roles are assigned. What you are able to do, you are given that role. Okay, and in such a and you are also trained in such a way that you have to give your performance. You have to perform. Performance oriented appreciation should be there. So in this way, we are even creative, being creative, how you can be creative, how you can think out of box for a solution. Not always stick to one simple concept that, oh, rules are not permitting this. Rules are not permitting that. It is easy to tell that, but you have to look around for solution in order to solve the problem. Okay, so this way we are saying that you can connect mission karma yogi, then you can write like how this will help a public official to excel in his ethical principles. So you can connect, then you can take that frac approach which was introduced by mission karma yogi. Okay, so role than rule. So this way we can give certain statements. So all this is there as a part of mission karma yogi, and mission karma yogi itself, you can say it's like ethical training equipped with the soft skill trainings, and you can put a hyphen. So here you can say creative. Okay, right, creative and curative, like that. And like something you can add much more statements here related to this mission karma yogi, and this you can connect everything and then say that here it is trying to make a person as a role model to the state. Okay, role model. So like by increasing the principles of integrity. Okay, and along, if integrity comes, everything follows it. Discipline, dedication, commitment, all this are a part of integrity, and all this comes from this particular approach which is given through mission karma yogi. And then you are achieving your success, you are becoming a good public official, a proper public official who is trying to achieve good governance. That way you have to complete the diagram either vertically or horizontally. You can illustrate it, but horizontal is a bit tough situation, so you can do it vertically. Okay, so this way you can answer for this question. Come to the second part of this question. How will the ethical training be relevant to government servants and help them discharge their duties more effectively? So how it is going to help the government servants? So first we said how this ethical training is helping to build an integrity principle in the government. Now how this training is will be helpful to the, both are more or less similar question only. That means from the same area the question has been shot out. Okay, for the second question, what how you have to answer, you have to answer how this particular training is going to help the public servants. Okay, so in that case, I have made up with certain points you can note here. See this, as this ethical training, as we are saying that we have to move towards the periodic IQ training to ethical training to the public officials. This will help and a public official, to improve his skills also, his knowledge, and even how he can tackle a ethical problem or dilemma which he is going to face in his life. See, that's the main problem, no, with many of the public official. They don't know how to handle that situation. They don't know how to tackle the problem which comes to them when they face such dilemma situation, such a challenging situation in their life. They don't know how they can tackle it, you know? So that situation has can be done only through training. You can give some training to them so that they anticipated the potential conflict of interest which can occur in the future. This and all some of the conflict of interest which will come in your way. So, how you have to do your duty, how you have to be in a disciplined way, how you have to be committed to your work, this has to be taught to the administrators so that they can easily recognize that, identify the dilemma if it comes in the future, and they will make a sound ethical decision in their in analyzing the choice, right? So, same way, the training will also motivate the civil servants, that is, public officials, so they can just go through their own actions, self evaluate themselves so far how they have behaved. So some might be good person, they never take bribe or they never take involved in illegal activity, but the mannerism which they opt in the job, that's something called as personality, no, of a person. So the mannerism, the way they deliver the service, they are doing good, but they don't do it in the proper way. So what they will do, they will be aggressive in nature, always, because they are not able to handle the stress. So they take it on others. So they try to shout at others. Mostly when they are in the people who are in the public office, like the police officials and all. The main reason is this only. We might think, oh, what a person, why he is shouting like this? Huh? Every time we go, he's not talking in a very kind manner. So that means there is something which is wrong. It's not like he's a wrong person. He's trying to take bribe or trying to collude with the thief and all. The thing is that he doesn't know how to change, or he doesn't have observed his own actions, and even if he have observed, he doesn't know how to control it. So this ethical training is helping to reflect a person, like evaluate him, a self evaluation about himself, like he can go back, think about his actions, how he have done it, and it also will help to improve that in the future. Okay, if he has committed something wrong, he can think over it, he can change it. Okay, so the same way you can also say that yeah, the awareness can be generated through this training. Okay, so what type of unethical, like suppose some person was involved in an unethical behavior in the public office, that can be bring to the light. While giving training, they can take this as a case study. They can inform to the other officials that if something happens in the near future, how you have to face the same issues and same inquiries which this person is now facing, and the punishment which he is undergoing. So this way you can create an awareness to the people that how you have to behave in your public office. Above all, when the training is ending, you will be able to understand why there is a need for ethics, why there is a need for ethics in the governance, in the good governance we are talking, no, so why there is a need for ethics in governance. So not only that, how you can develop okay, sorry, how you can develop an awareness of the ethical standards as well as the value systems of public service. Public service means you have certain value systems, how you can follow it. So this and all you'll come to know. And as we already discussed, the skills, training in skills, how to think, how to act in such a situation, how to build a skills, capacity building, all this you'll be able to understand in a better way. Okay, so even the codes of conduct, how you have to behave in your public office, the mannerism, how you have to treat others, the fellow workers, the fellow employees, and the citizens who visit to avail the benefit from the public office. So this is the major thing which you have to address for this question. Then come to the next one. What are considered as See, this what are considered as obstacles to ethical accountability in public administration. Okay, this is a question. What are considered as obstacles to ethical accountability in public administration? So, if that's the case, I can say that, like there are a lot of obstacles, but you need not discuss everything for this question. Since you're going to write it for 10 marks, I have taken some example here for you, some topics here for you, so that you can just address, and apart from that you can add from your side also. So how you have to begin this question? Actually, what this question is demanding, this question is saying that accountability is there for us. Accountability is the major, the topmost term which we can say that, which ensures good governance, right? So if that is answerability, not responsibility. Responsibility is long back. That when governance was there, we only talked about responsibility, but now we have moved from responsibility to accountability. That is, I am responsible. That means it is internal. Okay, I am responsible for my action. Nobody can question me. That is my responsibility. I am responsible as an elder sister. I am responsible as a daughter. I am responsible as a mother. I am responsible as a sister. Okay, so this way I can say in any form, I have responsibility towards a society, towards my family, towards the public. But there is something called as answerability. That means anybody can question me for my actions. That is answerability. That is the major component of good governance. So if that's the case, what are those things which are acting as obstacles to answerability in the administration? That is a question. That's a straightforward question. So, yes, then how you will answer for this question? So, they are asking what are those which are acting as hurdles to the answerability mechanism? So, which is a major component of good governance. So, if that's the case, I can say that, we all know that accountability is the way that you're questioning the public officials for their actions. And what are those things which stop a person or a body from questioning them, the public officials? In that first thing which I can bring is special knowledge which this administrators this possess in their office. That's why we call it as an expert. They are expert at work. So specially expertise and information, that can be the first statement you can bring here. So how you can say that why this is trying to act as an obstruction or obstacle to question them. So in that case, I can say public officials or public administrators you can take. They are always experts in the particular area where they are handling, everything in that particular district. If they are trying to make or implement the policies, so they are expert in such a way to hold the information. Data collection is very important. It's a part of framing that is sorry implementing a policy especially. So data collection is very important. These data are important source, I can say, that they hold it. Okay, it is not given to anybody easily. They cannot part with that easily. And even outside, a person who comes from outside will not be able to understand. Even he can be a person who is from the agency which inquires on the corruption activities also. Okay, like CVC you take. Now all these bodies, even experts will be there, but they cannot understand what this person is doing in his office, because he is having a expert knowledge and not only holding the information which he has. So it's not easy to take it immediately. That's why you can see that a person who has committed corruption around 15-20 years before, still after he has he got promoted, even becoming the topmost civil servant of the state. Some cases are also like that. And then they get resigned from the office. And after that, they are called to answer for certain questions related to this particular corruption activity. Why? The reason is that whether they are delaying it, simply like dragging it, the issue, one side there might be a possibility, but most of the time they are not able to bring the proof out. They are not able to bring the data out. Okay, so the thing is that they are holding the information, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort and time to bring all this data related to the corruption activity. So no agency will completely dedicate or commit themselves in order to bring all these, that much time and effort cannot be put by anybody. So that's a first obstacle which makes that outside agencies not to question the public officials at work. Even an outside agency is not able to question it. The expert bodies are not able to question. How a layman will understand what this person is doing in his office? How he will question? That comes the second. How he will be able to question the administrator? So that comes second. And this is the first thing which I can say they are not able to part with the information. And you can say that they have constructed their palace, a citadel, and they will never allow anybody to break it. Okay. Second is the full-time status. That is the second important issue which we have to address, because administrators or the civil servants or the public official is taking in this job as a full-time basis. They are not there for half a day they work, or 1 hour they work, or 2 hour they work. But an outside agency which is keeping in check of an administrator, we have already, you would have learned in the accountability section what are the ways an administrator can be held accountable: in the legislative control, judicial control, executive control, people control. Common man can control him. That way they will ask various questions for the action he has committed. So these people are just there to, this is one of the case for them, and they cannot completely keep watch of him only all the time, all the duration. They cannot completely dedicate equal time like him, and this make him outstanding to hoard the information very easily. So this full-time status is another culprit, we can say. Again, third thing is massive expansion of bureaucracy. That's the third thing. Okay, why we are saying massive expansion of bureaucracy? So we know that when India, that's pre-independence, bureaucracy was before that also, no? So it's Indian Civil Service. We call this as Indian Civil Service previously. And what happens at that time? The main objective of the civil servant, okay, is to just collect revenue and to provide security to the people. Collecting revenue, providing security. Okay, so this is the main duty. But later, as you see that, after independence, I can say, the role of the state also changed. And as such, the role of the civil servant who is acting as the face of the government also changed. So previously, the state was only providing, security to the people. For that, they are collecting some fees. But now, after independence, they said, okay, it's the duty of the state to take care of the people. So the state will involve in, the sorry, the state will try to involve in welfare activity, welfare providing activity to the people. We'll provide welfare. Huh? So like this way, the state decided it. So when state tried to provide welfare to the people, the role of the administrator also started improving and enhancing. So his responsibility also started increasing. Okay, this way, not only then after LPG, after, the introduction of good governance, introduction of ethical governance, the role started growing like a white elephant. Not only the role, the bureaucracy, since there is a lot of role to be performed by bureaucrats. Starting from previously, it was only regulatory role, but now it is developmental role, that is welfare providing activity, promotional role, promoting the private players to provide the welfare to the people, and entrepreneur role also. So this way, the responsibilities keep on increasing, and hence the size of the bureaucracy also started growing enormously, like a white elephant. They used to say this phrase, like growing like a white elephant. Okay, so the not only their roles started increasing, the size also started expanding. So when the size started expanding, what happened? The number of personals who are employed, we already know it's a bureaucracy. It's a form. It's a hierarchical form of governance. So here, as the number started growing, the superiors who start to give command, to hold responsible or holding responsible of this juniors, the civil servants, also started increasing. So that like this, the bureaucracy started expanding. And when they started expanding, there is there is no proper control over the field level officials. Okay, there is no proper, the span of control has been completely altered due to the terrain sometimes, or due to the distance between the officials, because one superior has to get hold of some 10 or 15, we can consider this as an example, officials, okay, sub officials. Now, since the size has increased, now he is not able to provide proper control over them. So they cannot keep check of every official who is below them, the superior cannot keep check of him every time, no, every day he is not having some 20 eyes to keep check of that 10 officials. Continuously cannot watch him what he is doing in his office. So that this gives him a lot of time and to think how and all, what are the ways he can devise and plan to involve in illegal activity. Okay, so this way, massive expansion of bureaucracy is one of the reason that accountability is reduced. Next comes the lack of coordination. This is another biggest issue which is trying to affect the accountability mechanism. What is this lack of coordination? Because we all know that there are a lot of agencies, organizations which is trying to bring this probity in the public administration. But for example, you take CBA is there, CVC is there, Central Vigilance Commission is there. Okay, then Lokayuktas are there, and Lokpals are there. Central Lokpal is there, state Lokayuktas are there, and state is also having its own vigilance bodies, and it's having its own anti-corruption departments. So how many people are there? So far, so many still yet to come. So this way we are having lot of bodies which are tackling corruption, which are looking into this kind of illegal activity which is taking place inside the public office. So there is no proper coordination among them. There are a lot of bodies, but there should be some coordination. No, one has to interact with another in order to exchange of information. And this happened in economy also. SEBI, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, both coordinated. Before that, there was a lot of gap, and that's how that white collar crime was keep on increasing in the economic field, especially the capital market and all. You see that a lot of scams started happening. Now they started to collaborate, exchange of information. Previously, both of them devoid. So that they should not share the information. I am having the best information. I will use it. I'm not going to give this person. He is not giving me anything. So why I should share my information to him? Let him handle on his own. I will handle on my own. Okay, so this way. But now the regulatory authority, the ministry started collaborating. So there is exchange of information, and easily they can point out those people who are defaulting. So same way here also we need a coordination among these bodies in order to tackle this kind of illegal problems and menaces which is happening in the administration. So that's, we have mentioned that. So I have given only 4. There is enormous things like this, and based on that marks and based on the time you have and space you have, if you're not able to explain this each and every point separately, then you can go for 2 more or 3 more points. When you're giving 2 to 3 statements or 3 statements, that's it, you can go for another 2 more, right? Now that's it, this question is over. We'll move to the next question. See this. Nations compete in the international space, and national advantages are the drivers of the space of international ethics, and what happens to it. Explain with example. It's a question. So, yes. Now, how will you answer this question? As you can see, this so international ethics. This is a topic which you have. Mostly, you are nowadays they are giving focus to this topic also, the international ethics. So this question is made from that part only. And how you will, what is they are coming to say, what they are coming to say. First, you have to know this. Then the question is simple. Explain with the example. So first, you have to understand the question. That is important here. So they are saying that nations compete in the international space, and national advantages, okay, are the drivers of the space of international ethics. That means they are saying that those countries which are going to be dominant in the fight, because always nations are competing with one another, and that which they consider as right is always considered as ethical principles in the international sphere. So that means the richest and the dominant dictates ethics to the small countries. Okay, so this is what they have given in this format. Explain with example. You can give some example. You can say that yes. First, you have to how you will begin this question. First, you can start by defining the international ethics. You can start like this. International ethics means it refers to that the way the good things that happens in the form of international interactions which takes place between countries, exchanges which takes place between them, and a relation which is going to bring the earth and all the life forms which which where the friendly manner approach should be taken. That is something called as international ethics. You have to treat everyone as friends, not as foes. Okay, so that we call as international ethics. That means we should not do harm to others. We are always we should not only think about ourselves, that self in our own self growth, in our own self interest, what we are going to gain from others. That is not should not be the one and only angle you have to think. You should also think from the other side. Okay, so you should be empathetic enough in your approach, and that defines the international ethics. But the question says that that is what international ethics is. Okay, so that means you should behave in such a way that you should not harm the other countries in order to grow, in order to move ahead in the international space. You should go. It doesn't mean that you should not do anything. You should simply sit idle. You should only follow ethical principles in such a way that that always only stay good, stay right, and not think of improving. So it does not require at all. You can even go down in your growth. It doesn't mean like that. So that means you have to think, you have to consider about others when you are making choices, but you have to make choices in such a way that you grow in the international sphere. That is what the international ethics is saying. So the question is asking that although that is called as international ethics, but it is not like that. It is not practiced like that in the international space. How they are practicing international ethics? They are practicing in such a way that they are only giving focus, or they are only giving importance to the dominant countries who succeeds in the competition, and who says that, who tries to dictate the other countries that this is something called as ethics. They frame the ethical rules, they frame the ethical principles, and how they are formed according to the advantage of that country, according to the benefit of that country. They are framing these rules, they are framing these principles in the ethics. Okay, so that is what they have asked us a question. So you can give an example here. You can say that during the refugee crisis which has happened, when that there is a problem and there is a conflict which was going on. So the Syrian civil war, when it is happening, lot of refugees started started pouring into the countries, Western countries. And in that case, they were not ready to open the gates for the refugees. The dominant countries, even the country which is in the part, super five, we can also is not able to tolerate these refugees. They are claiming themselves as they are already well developed, they are knowledgeable, they are literate people, but they doesn't want to accept these refugees who are coming out from their country to escape. Even see the Ukrainian war, what is happening there. So the refugees are moving towards other countries, and a lot of countries even started constructing walls to stop these refugees entering into their country. But when India was fighting this particular case of refugees entering from various parts, like the Bangladesh, okay, through various borders they were trying to enter, Myanmar refugees, the boat people we call. So when they're trying to pour inside, and what is the problem which is existing in our country, especially in the northeastern state. So these refugees are creating a lot of problem there in that particular places. They're taking up jobs. All these some of the issues which has been raised by the local people, that our jobs has been taken away. Our the provision which the government gives us has been utilized by these refugee people who comes from nowhere. From somewhere they are coming. They're taking the the indigenous people's rights and yeah, benefits which is given by the government. So this is something like which they claim. So if that's the case, India started thinking, okay, no, that is not the only problem. It's not bad to share something with the neighbors, but in the name of refugees, some terrorist activities also started happening. So India immediately, devised an approach. Although we are not signatory to the refugee convention, India was still embracing the refugees. But India has created a stricter policies that okay, I'm not going to. This is enough. My people doesn't have enough space to live at now. There is no job, sufficient jobs or space for my people to live. How can I call more people inside my country and offer them with also? For me, my people is important first. And when India decided to close its boundary, the world countries started dictating India, started questioning India. What kind of ethical principles you have? You are saying Aditi Devo Ba, and you're closing all your boundaries. What is this? What is the meaning of this? This kind of question started raising. So that time, India openly said, this is not your job to worry about. You need not worry about me. And how what you did when Syria war has happened, Ukrainian war is going on, and what you are doing, what you people are doing. Although one or two countries are supporting, all others are not ready to invite these refugees. Although you have ample of space, ample of resources to provide to these people. So why we have to do it? Is there any law that we have to follow, that we have to behave in this way only? So this is a question which is asked. So nowadays we are talking to the back, we are questioning them back that how you will previously every other country has to follow it. They will follow because those people who are dominating the international space used to dictate the ethical principles for others. This is one such example. Even SDG, MDG is a proper example. MDG is a proper example where they were talking about this particular concept only. Ethical principles, they are framing according to their own advantage and dictating to others. Okay, so this way you can take some example and explain this question. Come to the next question. See this. CSR attempts to counteract. So this is 10th year because you all know that CSR was made mandatory in India as in the form of 2% bill in the Companies Act of 2013. So it is important to note that maybe there might be a question. So CSR attempts to counteract any negative effect that corporations have on society and replace them with constructive influence through its stakeholders. Elaborate. So they have explained a statement. They are asking us to elaborate it. So we have to just reflect the statement back. That's it. So we have to expand and explain it. So what the statement is saying, this is saying that the corporate social responsibility is trying to counteract the negative things, negative effects that corporations is having on the society, and trying to replace this negative effect with the constructive influences. So it is trying to move from the negative thought the people have on corporations towards a positive thought. And that is something, how this is happening through the stakeholders only. Who is responsible for this change? The stakeholders. Now we have to elaborate it. How we are going to elaborate this? As you can see, that first you have to explain about the stakeholders. So now you have understood the question. This is what the question is asking you, right? That means CSR is trying to move the negative thought people have on corporation to positive thought, right? This is the core idea of the question. How this is happening? This is happening through the stakeholders of that company, corporations. So first, how will you begin the answer for this question? Now you have understood the question, so you have to begin the question. So you can start like by starting with CSR, corporate social responsibility. Okay, you can start like explaining about CSR. You can also say that it's a corporate conscience. The CSR is other, that is corporate social responsibility is also called as corporate conscience. That you all know the concept of conscience, the inner voice which we have as an individual we are having. Similarly, every corporation also will have its own individual voice. Okay, that is something called as corporate social responsibility or corporate conscience. So, when a corporation is performing certain action or activity, the inner voice speaks to it. Okay, whether it is right thing to do, whether they are going in the right direction. I know. So, if there is a wrong, so there should be an intimation. This is something called as corporate conscience or corporate social responsibility. Okay, so the other way I can see this is that how this corporate is going to do good to the people, what kind of responsibility they are going to take. So you can explain like that. It's something called as a social performance or responsible form of business. I can say in simple word, corporate social responsibility is equal to responsible form of business. Okay, so this CSR is something where there is a self-regulation which happens in the business. Okay, self-regulation. When a business is going on, by committing in CSR, the company can monitor itself, can regulate itself. Whether it is going by the law, abiding by the law, whether it's standing on the principles of ethics, whether it is abiding by some international laws or social codes or norms, etc. Okay, so that's a major aim of CSR also. The major aim is to check on that whether the companies are trying to go in the line in such a way that they should be abiding by the laws and rules and regulations of the country. At the same time, they have to do good to the society. So this will create a positive impact on the people about the company also. Okay, so this way you have to first begin, and then you should say that the stakeholders like the employees, the community, that is consumers, one who is going to take the product from the organization, all are playing their part in order to make the CSR a successful approach. That is trying to change the knowledge, or trying to change the attitude of the people towards the company, right? So first in this stakeholders means you can explain a few stakeholders like employees. You can take employees, how employees should be treated by the company, by the larger corporations, how they are going to treat the employee. So generally, when an organization is functioning, right, so it has to see whether the employees has been in a secured place, whether they are having job security, whether they are able to, whether there is proper safety measures for them in the company, if there is an emergency situation, whether their life will be protected. Okay, this way there are a lot of things like this, so they have to check all these things. And this is something which is related to employee who is as a stakeholder of a company, right? And then I can say that come to customers. Customers are the one who is going to take the product from the company. So they have to be in the safe and effective manner, and they should have a good quality products. Okay, they should be provided with good quality products, right? And this CSR, which questions that that whether the good quality product is provided to the customers, or I can say that how this the market is market is awaiting this product from the organization, and how the people are responding to this product, and how this relationship between the customers and the corporation is going to take place based on the quality product developed by the corporations, and whether there is any consumer protection which is given by the company. Okay, so that is a major question which comes to us. When you purchase a product, you get the product from the company, and you are just left with no other options when the product doesn't work. There are certain companies or organizations like that. They don't have any responsibility towards the customers at all. So that's the second thing which we have to bring. And the environment, the third stakeholder is the environment, where the company is located. With what kind of pollution this company is going to create in the environment where it is located. Because of this, what are the impact it is going to create on the society? Okay, so CSR will always look from the environmental aspect also, not from the not only from the economical aspect. The previous two things are from economical aspect. Employees as the customers, both are the the economical aspect of CSR. But the environmental aspect of CSR will always encourage that how what measures this company is taking to handle the waste management, how the waste are discharged in the company, whether they are simply released out in the environment or whether they have been properly disposed without causing harm to the nature, to the people, okay, etc., which is there. So this kind of knowledge, this angle, from this perspective, the CSR is also going to analyze. So this we call as the environmental aspect of CSR. Then comes lastly the society. So these are not only the company's responsibility towards employees, customers, and also towards the environment, but what impact this organization is going to create on the society. Okay, how that organization is going to affect millions and millions of people who are not even a part of that particular organization. How they are going to get affected by the activities of the organization. So this is the major part, the society, the social perspective of CSR. So CSR always recognizes the interrelation of all these concepts: economical, environmental, and social aspect. It always looks into three aspects. Okay, so there should be some interrelation also. We cannot separate one from the other. What impact when a company is trying to do CSR activities, there are also certain kind of activities which are considered to be as a CSR activity. Certain other activities are not encouraged as CSR. So in that case also, when a company is trying to develop the society, develop the location where this company was located, it is going to create an impact on the employees also. It is going to create an impact on the environment also, impact on the society also. That's why we are saying that there is a relation between the interrelation between the economical, social, and the environmental aspect in the CSR. Okay, so what are those things which are going to do good? Good to the employees is going to do good to the society also. Whatever good we are going to do in the society is also going to do good to the employees. So it is going to create a positive impact on the people, one way the round, I can say. Right, one places, if you are hearing that this company, it is treating their employees in a good manner, they are providing every safety measures to it. So that now the name of the company raises in between the public. Same way, when it is trying to do some activities which is going to help the slum dwellers who is nearby this company, who is located nearby this company, so then this is going to create a positive impact. So this way you can say that how this stakeholders are trying to create a constructive influence rather than a destructive influence about the corporation. Okay, so we explained in that angle only, not only CSR, we have explained with the help how the stakeholders of a company is going to build a constructive influence. Okay, so now we are moving to the next question. See this, before that's it, the sixth unit is over. Seventh unit we will try to take as much question as possible, and that's it. And I'll explain like how other from other topics also question used to come. See, this topic is something related to probity in governance. Here, there is some topic called concept of public services there. Philosophical basis of governance and probity is there. But mostly the questions are asked from this part. You can see this information sharing. Here also you'll get what is public service. Some basic questions are coming. What are the principles, foremost principles of public service? This way they are asking some questions. But this part is very important. students. So how to keep in check about these part. So where you are, where they are talking about information sharing, transparency in the government. So relevant terms like right to information, code of ethics, code of conduct, then citizen charter. All this are going to bring transparency in government only. Then work culture, quality service delivery, utilization of public funds, challenges of corruption. So this way, every topic is intertwined in it. Okay, they're interconnected with one another. And whenever you're addressing one topic from this particular section, you cannot segregate all the other topic. Whenever you try to frame an answer, you will bring all the other topics which are here to answer the question. So now in this case, let us see the question. First question we'll discuss from the seventh unit. The citizen charter is aimed at restoring power to the citizens. It is not a more for more state action. Okay, elucidate. It is not a more for state action. I think there is two more. Just cancel it. Strike it. So they are saying that citizen charter is aimed at restoring power to the citizen. Citizen charter is not a invalid document. Okay, that's what they're coming to say. They're saying that this main aim of the citizen charter is to give power to the common man. Okay, it is more than a state action. It is more than a state action. So you have to elucidate it. Right. So how will you this nothing but they're asking about citizen charter. That's it. What citizen charter is doing. So what is the major objective of a citizen charter? From there you have to begin, and then you have to say yes. Citizen charter is not simply a theoretical paper. It's not a theory paper. It's that a document which helps to give power to the citizens. That you will be explaining how. So, how you will start this question? You can start with the statement, the main aim of a citizen charter. What is the main aim of citizen charter? Mainly to bring a citizen friendly administration. People friendly administration is the main aim of citizen charter. So, what is people friendly administration? That means an administration which has to satisfy, which has to solve the grievances of the citizen, the problems of the citizen, and help the citizen, in every possible way. Because the citizens are the one who avail the services, government is the one who provide the services. So, well, it has to be in a friendly manner it has to treat the citizen in a friendly way. Administration has to. In such a way, it can bring citizen satisfaction is important here. Citizen are customers and government is the provider. Now, it is not simply like, citizens are like beggars and government are the givers. It's not that relationship. Government are the providers of service, citizens are the takeover or taking, the one who takes the services. So if that's the cases, it's like customer and the organization. That type of relationship exists between the citizen and the public office. So that should be a word called satisfaction. That is what you have to mainly underline. When you are writing your answers, you have to focus this two line only. That customer satisfaction is very, very important, and that is assured by citizen charter. How you will ask that question? So when you would have already studied about citizen charter, how a citizen charter is framed, what are the details you will be giving in a citizen charter? So that only you can understand that like in the citizen charter, while making a citizen charter, they will be mentioning that what are the services which are offered by this department, who is responsible for providing this service, what is the time duration the services will be given to the citizen. Okay, morning 9 o'clock to afternoon 1 o'clock, and 1 to 2 is a break, and 2 to 5 again we will operate. This much details you are giving there, along with the concerned person whom you have to approach for taking that service. What are the documents you have to carry? All this comes in the citizen. This is a data source which you are providing to the public in order to create an awareness to them that, okay, see this person should be in the office at 9 o'clock. And if you come at 9 o'clock and there is nobody to attend you, then that means it's your right. You can ask them where you went. I have been waiting here till since 9 o'clock. You come here at 11 o'clock. May I 9 बजे से इधर वेट कर सकती हूँ, आप क्यों चल रही हैं, क्यों चल रही हैं इन द ऑफिस, है ना? आराम से 12 बजे और 11 बजे आप इधर आइए ना. This way you are going and asking a question to them. So then he becomes fearful that yes, public is aware what is happening in the department, how the services are offered, and why I am not in my office or not in my seat. It is questioned, and previously it is not the case. Even though we say this is not an enforceable document, citizen charter is not an enforceable document, but still, still the public has an awareness about the functioning of the office, functioning of the public department. They go to a bank, they come to know that yes, now at sharply at 9 o'clock, the bank should open and the cashier should be there in his office, there should, in his place. He has not yet arrived. What is the problem? They can go and ask. Right. So that is not previously there. Although this charter is simply a kind of paper which explains that how the services are given, what duration it is given, but you cannot go and fight in the court that this person has not arrived to do his duty. You cannot ask. Okay, so but you can check you can question them. It gives you that authority to question. So the main elements of the citizen charter is like quality which you give to the people and the choices which you can offer to them. Okay, so that you previously you go to a government bank, you know that you can open an account. Anybody will know that you can open a bank account in a government bank. But when you go to a post office for some work, there they are giving certain details in the citizen charter about a post office account, a bank account which you can open in post office. None of us know it. They should inform it there. So that's something called as choice. So instead of going to a bank account to open a account, bank account, I can open it in the post office also. That's something we call as choice. That is also reflected only through the citizen charter. Otherwise, we don't know what kind of services is provided in this office, and we don't have much choices. Standards of the services offered at the particular office is also defined clearly in the charter, right? Then apart from this, the charter acts as a document of accountability. I already told you how you can go and question. Transparency, you are known, you are aware about the functioning of the office, the timing of the office, the documents you have to provide to avail the benefit, this and all is the services provided by the office. So that's way we can say it's open and transparent. Okay, so that's a question also. As you can see, that it is aim to restore the power to the citizens. So this way the citizens are empowered because they are made known. They know the details now, and they are able to question the authorities if they're not functioning properly or coming in the right time. You can question, no. So it is written like this. Why are you not in your office? Not only one day, not a single day. 2 days or 3 days I have been coming to this office, and every time I come, you are late. You are either not present or late. So that way you can question this people. So this way you can say that citizen charter is trying to empower the citizen, right? So apart from empowerment, that is acting as a tool in the hands of people, you can also say that it is making the government officers committed in nature, because now the organization is also, and the people who are in the organization is also know clearly that they're not trying to do their duty in a proper way, then they will be questioned by the public. And it also improves the service delivery. Okay, in this way it is also trying to improve the service delivery, and it increases the courtesy, okay, and kind nature of the staff. That's very important, because now they cannot treat the customers as beggars. They are customers. They are people who have come to avail the benefit from the government office. And it's our duty to give the benefit to them. Whatever question they are asking, we have to answer them. Okay. So that way we can say these are some of the things which you have to, the statements which that should be present in this case of question. Now come to the next question. How social infrastructure can be effectively used to expose, denounce, and restrain corruption. So, challenges of corruption. That's one topic. See, before going into this question, I can explain that how other questions will be focused in your exams. Mostly, you will be getting questions from challenges of corruption and transparency and information sharing. Okay, like RTA, there will be a question. And even citizen charter now and then, like almost two through three questions has appeared. So citizen charter also questions will come. Quality service delivery, utilization of public fund, all this then and there you will get question. Every year it will not get repeated, but then and then, like work culture, some one time they asked a question. So two times they have asked about code of ethics and code of conduct. That comparing both. Okay, this kind of questions has also come. The public funds question. Every time, at least 1 year in rotation, this question has come. Not repeated again and again. But mostly the transparency and information sharing and RTA is given much focus, and the challenges of corruption is given next importance. Okay. So in this case, come to the question now. The question is talking about the corruption, challenges of corruption. So how social infrastructure can be used to expose or denounce or even restrain the corruption activity? The government. How society is trying to stop this? That there is an important word behind this called as voice of the people, voice of voiceless, we call like that. The citizen's voice, okay, has to be should help effectively in exposing or trying to bring out the corruption. They should not be a part of corruption. They should help to stop this corruption. How we will be trying to do that? How, which social structure is helping to do it? Civil society engagement is the one which brings the voice of voiceless outside. So that is very important, along with the media. So media, which is helping to educate the citizens about the the evil, which results from corruption activity. Okay, so that trying to raise awareness among the people that if corruption you are encouraging, then what will happen in the future? How this will result? And trying to bring them in the participation by giving them a voice. Right? So this is something which we say, like how we are going to take this voice of voiceless to the sphere. So for that, I can say how you will do this. The civil society organization will always have a monitoring mechanisms, okay, to check on the corruptions. Not only by tracing down the corruption activity, but also educating the members, like the public, general public, they're creating awareness and asking them to involve in anti-corruption drives. Okay, so this way they are trying to create that kind of attitude to the people that corruption is like a disease. You have to reduce it. You should not only think in the narrow perception of life. Okay, I have to be rich very soon. Today he has become rich in that manner. Tomorrow I will also encourage my child to become an IAS officer so that he can become the richest person in our country. This kind of attitude should not be there. So where it starts, every person, either he can be a political person, that is a politician, or either he can be an administrator, he comes from society itself. So society's thought has to be changed. Attitude has to be changed. For this awareness program is very, very important, where the civil society organization will conduct certain drive to root out this kind of corruption activities from the society itself by educating them, by mobilizing the crowd. Okay, so that's the first thing which we have to understand. Second thing is that not only awareness campaigns are not only education programs to the people, but the civil society itself will try to oversee the government programs. There are various activities like that. Social audit is there. People can go along the civil society. It's a general public will go there, watch the activities of the government, and then they will audit whether every fund which is allotted by the government is utilized in the proper way for implementing this program or not, or it is deviated to some other places. Okay, so this way there is something which we can say that overseeing the government programs is an important part, and also trying to spread the information about the service standards to be provided, and whether there is proper way you can complain about the problems which you face while availing the benefit or availing the services, right? As well as whether there is proper information which is given to the people, whether there is proper transparency mechanism or whether open mechanism which is available to the people, all these are some way that I can say that awareness campaign can be conducted by civil society organization, can be for any activity which we have discussed. Okay, and apart from this, citizens can also be a part of assessment and maintenance of ethics in the public offices. So that's nowadays you can see that people are shooting a video and publishing it in the social media immediately. Somebody is taking bribe, it immediately circulates. So not only there, not only though you can just visit a public office, the state level office, the district level office, you can visit and you can try to root out the corruption, bring out, identify it, circulate it among the people, educate them about it, and then you can contain the corruption in some way. So this is another way we can do it. And even providing incentives for the citizens participation is important. Okay, so in that way, like how we are saying, whistleblowers protection act. So you are giving incentives to people who try to bring this to light. Some illegal activity or corruption activity is going on, so that the people will bring this to the authority to take action. And actually, it is other way around in our country. And without the proof, you cannot simply give the data that even if you're saying that, okay, this officer has taken bribe from me, you also will be arrested because you are a bribe giver. Not only bribe taker will be punished, but bribe giver is also punished. So that's a major problem that and all has to be looked into. School awareness programs should be there. Like from the school days only, you have to educate a child about the value systems in his life. Okay, so how he has to look through to the society, look towards the society, how he has to live his life when he is there in a public office, how he had to consider the interest of the public first than his own interest. Like this way, we have to educate the child even through the younger days. So, not the public education, school awareness program is also equally important. So, with this, we'll end the session here. And you can add much more points also to this question like this. Okay, so all the best students. I think we have one more session is left over, right? For case studies, it is there. So we'll meet again. That will be the last session of us. And once completed, then ethics is completed wholesomely. So thank you all. Have a great night.